So with it being under 2 months before the release of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, a lot has been revealed and updated. We're seeing tons of obvious characters from DBZ to Super and their movesets alike in various arenas and new modes. There's some pretty cool stuff, like the graphics look amazing. It's like Budokai Tenkaichi 3 was the final form, but then decades later comes back and says, nah, I got another one for you, baby. And it just transforms into Sparking Zero. It's like, behold my awesomeness. This is the sparking form. The crisp and detail, it looks so good. Like the lighting, the shadows, and the models, they all look so good. It just looks so crisp. Because obviously Kakarot looked amazing, but here it's like, oh my god, could this be topping it? So I think it is kind of, but that may be a controversial take. What do you think about that? Am I wrong on that one? Maybe I'm just getting too hyped, but I don't care. I just like the fact that this game is getting so much added into it. It's so good. We have 2 single-player modes, one being obviously the main story, as you go through the story of Z from 8 various characters with what appears to be almost a choice selection on certain events in the story itself. Like, we see Krillin joining Goku to fight Raditz, because, like, that's new, because obviously it's Piccolo and Goku, but in this option, it seems you have a choice, like, either A, you can go with Goku, or B, you can go yourself, but then Krillin jumps in and is like, no, I'm going with you. You're my best buddy. No one messes with my friend and gets away with it. You know, and he just joins in the fight with Raditz, but, I mean, technically, no offense, Krillin, what you gonna do? You got bitch slapped for a house. I mean, yeah, he caught you off guard, but what are you gonna do? No offense. Unless you're gonna be a distraction. And then you got Goku going Super Saiyan during the Saiyan saga. Like, during the Great Ape fight. Hang on a minute, what's going on here? What are you cooking? I like it. What's going on here? It's something similar to like the what if scenarios from various games like the Budokai Tenkaichi games or even like Raging Blast in some degree. It may not seem like much, but if we're getting more interesting scenarios, it could be a freshly interesting change. There's also an option to create your own stories, like using certain characters of choice, putting in certain text for the dialogue, the lighting, and even change the camera angle and stuff, and it looks pretty good, like I'm not gonna lie, this looks some top quality stuff here. This is a pretty awesome feature, and it's gonna be interesting seeing what kind of stories the fans create, and oh boy, that dialogue. I assume they're gonna put some restrictions on that, but Frieza is gonna have a filthy mouth. He really is going to. Oh my god. It's quite literally like the community's what if mode, and I can't wait to see what people come up with. Then you got the transformations. From the ones that we've seen so far, they look really good. Like, I'm comparing to the limitations of Budokai Tenkaichi 3 to now. So, seeing them go from popping into the new form with these new, like, sequences of animation put into detail is such a difference. Like, don't get me wrong, Budokai Tenkaichi 3 had some good qualities, but when you see the progression of updates and changes to the quality and animation and actual sequences, oh my god. This looks so good. It's almost reminding me of Raging Blast 2 in a sense, because especially with Frieza in his second form, like just that extra detail of his body like contorting to his bigger and hornier form. Hang on, that's not what I meant. You know what I mean? But like, you know when his sequence where his body's like twitching and changing, and they add that detail in the games? I love that. I love that hint of detail, and I want to see more of those kind of transformation details. Because it does look really good. It honestly does. But it would be kind of cool to see, like, I don't know, Super Saiyan 3 Goku transformation be given the kind of, brief animation of, like, the hair growing out like it did in its actual debut. I think that'd be a nice touch. Or even something like, in Super Broly, how he goes berserk, and, like, how in the movie, like, his irises would shatter and go red, and it would just explode and turn into a Super Saiyan. Even like a quick sequence of that would be a nice touch to his transformation. We're also getting to see some decent, stage destruction throughout the gameplay footage, like some rock debris and the city being destroyed as you're fighting, because that's awesome. Because come on, admit it, when you're fighting in a city, you want to destroy the buildings, you want to like have that Man of Steel kind of moment, like, yeah, I'm gonna wreck all this shit just to beat the shit out of you. I don't care. I will destroy all the lives in this world to make you suffer. I sound like a psychopath. But dude, come on. I know it's tradition to like fight in the open space and just have it all nice and flat so you can fight your opponent, but who doesn't like throwing their opponent through a building or just destroying all the like construction and cities and stuff while you're fighting your opponent? Who doesn't want to do that? I want to feel like Godzilla, goddammit. I just do hope that we get to see some more ultimate damage done to the stages. I think there's Namek, but that's a given because, well, it's Namek, okay? That's the one thing it's known for besides the Dragon Balls. But I do remember seeing something very unique with the tournament arena. Like, if you do an intense enough attack, the announcer would tell everyone to leave the stadium and you see them actually scatter out of the arena before the big hit. And once the attack hits, it becomes a normal arena. Kinda like what Cell did in the Cell games. Like, he's like, you know what, I'm sick of this arena stuff. Let's just fight normally. I'm getting sick of this stuff. That's pretty cool. Like, I don't think we've ever seen a DBZ game ever do that before. I appreciate him trying something different with it. I mean, that's pretty cool. As for the character roster, well, aside from the various Gokus and Vegetas, obviously, because Jesus Christ, you got Goku beginning, Goku mid, Goku end, Goku Super, Kid Goku probably for GT, and Kid Goku for Dragon Ball. I do hope we get the whole lot. Like, imagine all the ones from Budokai Tenkaichi 3, but just with super characters added into it. That's kinda what I want. But there are a few things that worry and irk me. We've been seeing many characters throughout the game. Well, mostly DBZ and Super, that's kinda given. But nothing of Dragon Ball and GT characters. My guess is OG Dragon Ball will be unlockable after completing DBZ and GT as well. Well, that's what I like to hope. But if given the modern game tradition, it'll mostly likely be DLC. Along with some special costumes, music tracks, and possibly movie characters, because that is going to be a given. Like, you probably see like Coolers being a DLC and stuff like that. I mean, it kind of sucks. And or manga exclusive, or maybe manga. But that's apparently a different ballpark entirely with licensing and stuff, so maybe not manga characters, but movie characters and stuff, yeah, they're probably gonna be DLC. Like, they'll give you a good bunch of the characters, but like, something like movie stuff, it's like, we can get away with this, but it's not really canon, so, you know. So I'm thinking the whole of GT will probably be about, what, $15? Or they'll probably divide the sagas up. Because they want the most money they can, obviously, because what company doesn't? You know, so the Baby Saga will be $8.99. Same with Super 17 and the Shadow Dragon Saga, because, you know.
Hello, I like money.
So far, we haven't seen a lot of area destructions. You know what I'm talking about. You're fighting your opponent, you charge up for an ultimate attack, and if you blast it at your opponent at the right point, then boom! You trigger the arena cutscene of it being destroyed, and you cut back to the fight, and the area is all wrecked. It's completely different from before. It was so satisfying seeing the intensity of your attack change the outlook of the entire arena, as though the planet itself couldn't handle your awesome power. Aside from Namek, but again, that's a given. But they might not show everything, so I'd like to hope that they're just keeping features hidden till later on, or just wait for us to discover when the game releases. Okay, gloves are off for this next critique. It was later confirmed that the game would have offline co-op. Oh, sweet. Cause there was a point in time there was no footage or sources saying anything about this. People were concerned, as were I. So I can invite my boy over to duke it out, just like you could back in the old days. You know what I'm talking about. You bought your game, your boy hasn't got it, or maybe you just want to play the game together with your boy. Split screen co-op. Not like now, where you and your friends were like homes apart. Back then, you were in the same room with one TV, which, hot take, is superior to online co-op. I just feel more in the zone, and it feels more fun knowing that every player's in the same room and having fun. It feels more, I don't want to say authentic, but it's more engaging, I guess, to me. After all, it's a fighting game as well. It would be stupid to not have offline co-op, or I don't know, limit the offline co-op to one arena in the game. Oh wait! It was later revealed that offline co-op would be limited to only the hyperbolic time chamber. Let me repeat that. A fighting game limiting offline co-op to one fighting arena.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Imagine playing the latest Tekken or Street Fighter or the Naruto games, and they limit the local co-op to one map. Hell, let's just limit the character selection too while we're at it. That's ridiculous! I mean, was local co-op just done at the last minute? Now, you may think I'm exaggerating or it's not a big deal, but to me, offline co-op is a cornerstone element of a fighting game. Even when online was picking up, they still kept the local co-op option. Like, yeah, online is the norm now, but that doesn't mean you remove the option for local co-op. Because I grew up in the era where if you didn't have the game, but your mate did, you two could still play the game on one console, on one screen. It was perfect. What if you have people who wouldn't get the game, but are willing to play local co-op with their homie? I have a friend of mine, Nathan. Me and him play some fighting games from time to time, especially Budokai Tenkaichi 3.
Look at my trucker hat. A damn hat! A hat!
He knows of DBZ, but I wouldn't say he's like a hardcore fan or anything. He just knows stuff about it from online or from me. We play a few rounds, have a few laughs, tons of fun. Now, I'm not expecting him to drop £60 for a game that he wouldn't play on his own for my sake. The advantage of one person owning the full game and all the characters and arenas for the other person to drop by after school to play a few rounds was perfect back in the day. Especially in today's age where, like, say you and your friends have got days off work and you want to play a few games, but say there's one you want to play, but your friend doesn't have it or doesn't want to get it, but it's not really the thing, but they're willing to play the game with you, you know? It was ideal for everybody. That was the norm back then, which shouldn't be removed or forgotten. So I'd like to assume that they'd update that to all arenas at some point. If it needs time, that's fine. Better late than never, just don't leave it at this. Do not do that. That is literally a disgrace to local co-op. Are you mad? Are you genuinely mad? It goes completely against the whole point of fighting games with your friends. Now, you're probably thinking, oh, you've complained so much about this one little feature. Is that going to stop you from getting the game? Well, yes. No, I'm joking, okay? I am joking. Are you daft? We've waited decades for a new Budokai Tenkaichi game to come out. The pros of this game outweigh the cons here. The game's graphics look amazing, like the anime just turned to CG. The roster is growing larger and larger with new additions, and especially with Super and especially what's to come in the future. Oh, yes! I am getting this game, don't get me wrong, I am getting this game. It is set in stone. Now, I've got some questions for you guys. Do you think it'll live up to the hype? What do you want to see the most? Is there any particular character you want to see in this game? Me personally, I want to see Charlotte. Just for personal reasons. Just Charlotte. What are you hoping for the most from Sparking Zero? So those are my thoughts on the game so far before it comes out. Just, I hope it lives up to the hype. I hope it is like what we've all been dreaming about. Try not to be too high expectational, but again, we've been waiting decades for another updated Budokai Tenkaichi game with all the things that have been happening with Super and all the movies and stuff. I just want that as a game. Enhanced graphics, same choreography, but just more, you know, smoother and more fun, engaging. Like, I want to relive those moments of fighting in Budokai Tenkaichi 3 with the modern game's graphics and designs, and with a tons of roster of characters from the various installments in the franchise. It'd be so awesome, it would be such an amazing experience. So, this has been Drew, those are my views, and I bid you adieu.